The temperature sits at -40 degrees, and the massive elk is running out of time. A single gray wolf chases him through the deep snow, matching his frantic pace perfectly. The elk weighs 400 kilograms, possessing enough raw power to crush the predator instantly. But the wolf does not attempt to attack, it simply maintains a relentless driving pressure. After 2 exhausting miles, the elk begins to pull ahead, finding a desperate burst of speed. The predator slows down, dropping back into the dark tree line and abandoning the chase. The elk slows his heavy pace. He takes 3 deep breaths before the bushes ahead suddenly explode with violent movement. A second, completely fresh wolf launches onto the trail, immediately forcing the elk to sprint again. This is not a standard pursuit. This is a calculated, deeply orchestrated relay race for survival. To understand this nightmare, you must look closely at the frozen battlefield they are navigating. The Siberian taiga is covered in waist-deep powder, turning every single step into a massive struggle. The elk's sharp hooves violently punch through the icy crust, dragging heavy legs through the drifts. Every movement burns precious winter calories. Meanwhile, the gray wolf possesses wide, heavily furred paws that function exactly like natural snowshoes. The predator glides effortlessly across the fragile surface, barely leaving a footprint in the soft powder. But even with this physical advantage, a single wolf cannot maintain a high-speed chase for long. Their lungs would burn, and their muscles would fail against the sheer endurance of the prey. So they rely on a strategy that requires an astonishing level of cognitive mapping and teamwork. Before the hunt even began, the pack deliberately scattered themselves across miles of frozen forest. They predict the exact escape route. Older, experienced wolves position themselves at strategic choke points, waiting silently in the freezing shadows. The youngest and fastest members are sent out first, acting as the initial high-energy sprinters. Their only job is to push the elk to maximum speed and force him into exhaustion. Now the second runner is on the trail, closing the distance with terrifying, renewed energy. The elk pushes his massive heart to the absolute limit, gasping heavily for freezing air. The chase stretches across another brutal mile, the landscape blurring into a white, chaotic nightmare. The second wolf hits his physical limit. Just like the first, he immediately breaks off the pursuit, disappearing into the dense pine trees. The elk stumbles, his heavy head dropping low, thick white foam gathering around his open mouth. He stops near a frozen riverbed, his legs shaking violently from the immense physical strain. He assumes the danger has passed again, listening to the deafening silence of the winter woods. A short, sharp bark suddenly echoes from the ridge directly above his vulnerable resting position. A third wolf, rested and waiting patiently for 3 hours, steps out onto the icy rocks. The deadly baton is flawlessly passed. Stop. What you are witnessing right now requires an evolutionary trait rarely seen outside our species. This strategy demands impulse control, delayed gratification, and absolute trust in the unseen social group. The waiting wolves must ignore their own burning hunger while sitting motionless in the freezing snow. If one wolf breaks formation early, the prey changes direction, and the entire hunt instantly fails. They survive precisely because they suppress their individual desires for the greater success of the pack. The third wolf charges down the slope, forcing the shattered elk back into a frantic run. The massive herbivore drags his heavy body. The predator maintains a steady, agonizing pace, applying relentless psychological pressure onto the fading target. The elk looks back, his wide eyes reflecting pure terror as the pursuer remains seemingly tireless. He does not know he is running against multiple fresh opponents, he only sees endless stamina. It is a brilliant form of psychological warfare, systematically breaking the prey's will to survive. The wolves communicate their positions across the vast distances using precisely pitched, resonant echoing howls. The sound travels for miles, telling the next hidden teammate exactly where the target is heading. The massive body begins to shut down. His muscles flood with lactic acid, and his lungs struggle to pull oxygen from the air. The third runner drops away, melting back into the shadows without making a single aggressive strike. The elk staggers into a small clearing, lowering his massive antlers as his legs tremble violently. He cannot take another step. The endless waves of fresh predators have completely shattered his endurance. The dark tree line remains perfectly silent, the wind howling through the empty, frozen branches. From the shadows, the alpha wolf finally emerges, having waited patiently for this exact tactical moment. He carries the responsibility of the strike. He approaches the exhausted prey slowly, knowing the massive animal possesses no energy left to fight. The elk refuses to run, standing his ground as the inevitable conclusion of the chase arrives. The alpha lunges forward, and the carefully orchestrated relay race reaches its brutal, highly efficient climax. The pack converges from all directions, sharing the hard-earned reward of their collective strategic brilliance. Now look closely at the social structure of this pack as they gather in the snow. The alpha does not eat alone. He ensures the young sprinters receive their vital share. They reinforce their deep family social bonds. When you watch this astonishing level of tactical teamwork, something should feel deeply and strangely familiar. Because you are watching the exact evolutionary strategy that allowed our own species to conquer Earth. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, early humans lacked the raw speed to catch fast prey. We lacked the sharp claws and powerful jaws necessary to bring down massive, dangerous herbivores. But we possessed incredible endurance, complex communication, and the ability to work as a unified tribe. We chased mammoths across the snowy plains, taking turns running until the massive beasts simply collapsed. We used the exact same hunting method. We survived the Ice Age entirely because we learned to trust the person running beside us. We are deeply drawn to wolves because their social hierarchy perfectly mirrors our own ancient history. The deep bond holding their pack together is built on an unbreakable foundation of absolute loyalty. For centuries, fairy tales painted the wolf as a mindless, bloodthirsty monster of the dark woods. But the reality of their survival is far more beautiful, nuanced, and scientifically profound than fiction. They are highly disciplined athletes surviving in one of the harshest, most unforgiving environments on Earth. The team is stronger than the individual. It is a powerful, undeniable lesson in cooperation written directly into their wild, ancient DNA. The Siberian wolf pack proves that complex strategy and deep trust are the ultimate survival tools. They reflect the universal, beautiful laws of survival operating in the freezing, untouched natural world. Have you ever witnessed an animal display teamwork that completely challenged your understanding of nature? Tell us the most surprisingly intelligent behavior you have ever seen an animal execute below. And make sure to share this video with someone who still thinks animals lack complex strategy. Hit subscribe to join our incredible journey. Because the most fascinating intelligence is always waiting out there, hidden deep within the wild. Where the silent runners pass the baton in the ultimate, high-stakes race for winter survival. They vanish into the white expanse, moving as a single, perfectly synchronized living weapon. The alpha issues a low signal, and the next coordinated relay hunt immediately begins. A new target is acquired, and the hidden runners take their positions in the freezing shadows. The temperature sits at -40 degrees, and another massive elk is running out of time.